Childhood trauma doesn't just hurt you as a kid, it shapes how your brain works as an adult. People who survived difficult childhoods often look completely fine, responsible, strong, put together. But psychology shows they carry 5 specific traits built from survival, and you might have them without knowing it. Trait 1 is hypervigilance. This isn't the same as anxiety. When you grew up in an unpredictable home, your brain learned to scan constantly for danger. If your parents were volatile, if the mood could flip in seconds, your nervous system adapted. You learned to pick up the smallest cues, a change in tone, a facial expression, the energy shifting. Research in Nature Neuroscience found that childhood trauma actually changes the wiring between your prefrontal cortex and amygdala. Your brain built a permanent alarm system. As an adult, you read people with scary accuracy. You analyze text messages. You know someone's mad before they speak. You can feel tension no one else notices. But here's the cost. Your nervous system never turns off. You're always scanning, always watching, never fully relaxed. The alarm that kept you safe as a kid is still screaming, even though the danger is gone. Trait 2 is feeling responsible for everyone else's emotions. This looks like kindness, but it's not. It's survival. When your safety depended on your parents' mood, you learned to manage their emotions to keep the peace. Psychologists call this the fawn response. You became the emotional caretaker when you should have been the one getting care. As an adult, you can't say no. You walk on eggshells. You feel guilty for having needs. You're not being generous. You're protecting yourself the only way you know how. And it's exhausting you. Trait 3 is an inability to relax when everything is calm. You finally have peace, you finally have quiet, and instead of relief, you feel anxious. Like the calm itself is a warning. Research shows that chronic childhood trauma creates a dysregulated nervous system. When your body was exposed to constant stress, it learned that chaos was normal. Peace didn't last. So when things are quiet, your nervous system doesn't feel safe. It feels suspicious. Your fight or flight response gets stuck in the on position. Stress hormones flood your system even when there's no threat. You can't calm down because your body was trained that calm meant danger was coming. Trait 4 is extreme independence, or what psychologists call hyperindependence. This is more than self-reliance. It's an unwavering refusal to depend on anyone. You feel intense discomfort asking for help, even when you desperately need it. This happens for one reason. When your parents failed to show up for you, you learned that asking for help was pointless or dangerous, so you stopped asking. You might feel proud of your independence, and you earned that strength. But independence becomes a problem when it isolates you. You can't build intimacy without vulnerability. And you can't be vulnerable when depending on anyone feels like betrayal. Trait 5 is deep empathy for others paired with hidden personal pain. You'd think trauma would make you less empathetic, but research in PLOS One found the opposite. Adults who experienced childhood trauma scored higher on both emotional and cognitive empathy than people who didn't. You know what pain feels like. You recognize it in others because you've carried it yourself. You understand what drives people. You feel what they feel. But here's the contradiction. While you're tuned into everyone else's suffering, you've abandoned your own. You learned that your emotions were inconvenient, that expressing pain made you a burden, that your job was to manage other people's feelings, not have your own. So you became the person everyone turns to, the one who understands, the one who never breaks. And it feels meaningful, but you're also carrying everything alone. These 5 traits don't define you. They're not your personality. They're adaptations, survival mechanisms that formed when you had no other choice. You survived by being hypervigilant, by managing emotions, by never relaxing, by never depending on anyone, by understanding everyone's pain but your own. Those strategies worked. They kept you alive, they got you through. But you're not in that environment anymore. You don't need to unlearn this overnight, but start asking, which traits feel like me, and which are just old armor I don't need anymore? You were strong because you had to be, but you also deserve to be soft, you deserve rest, you get to decide what comes next.